Real Madrid, like, they want Neymar too. That could be.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in the works.
Yeah.
It's not like in the works, but yeah, dude, they're
Fucking
talking.
Neymar.
They're talking, dude. Neymar,
He's incredible.
he's the shit, dude. But damn, dude, that guy just goes where the money goes. Like, I can't blame him, dude. That's a lot of quiche, dude.
Yeah.
That guy gets paid so much money, dog.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
How can you turn down contracts that big?
You can't.
You know?
You can't, man. You just gotta go get that dough.
Yeah.
Get that dough.
Get it, dude. Like that. And, you know, Neymar wants to make a name for himself, too, because he could have stayed with Barcelona, dude, but he was always going to be in the Messi shadow.
Yeah, but Messi's gonna be done in the next like few years,
Yeah, but
and then Neymar would like be the guy.
yeah, I just think
Neymar
he
wanted it
didn't want
right
to wait.
now.
He wants it now. I don't blame him. He thinks he's good. He thinks he's good enough to be the best guy.
Yeah.
And he is, dude. Like, he's what?
He is.
He's top 4, top 5 player and
Mhm.
whatever. Like, he deserves his own squad.
Yeah, but I think he fucked up. Besides the money with PSG,
Yeah.
because he had a lot of hate at PSG.
Yeah.
People are like, "Fuck this
Yeah.
guy. Who
Well,
the fuck does this guy
and-
think he is?"
Him and Cavani, right? They didn't get along or whatever. There was
Not
drama at
really.
the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like, I think it started with, like, who's going to take free kicks and stuff like that. That's how you know who's the player, who takes the penalties and who takes the free kicks. And I think Neymar's first games with PSG, like, he would always get into it with Cavani because he's the guy. You
Yeah.
know, he's their striker. He's the penalty taker, the free kick taker. That's his team. And then Neymar showed up and was like, fuck you, dude. This is
Yeah,
my
this-
team now.
It's a market-based business like anything else, and you need to know the market to be really successful in what you're doing. And so I had a prior familiarity with Hollywood, California, because I moved to Hollywood when I was 18 years old to study music.
Right.
And I moved from Orange County to Hollywood at 18, and I knew Hollywood, at least to some degree. I lived there. I walked the streets a lot. I was somewhat familiar with the landscape, and so I said, if I'm going to do commercial real estate, I should be doing that in an area where I know and that I actually like. I like Hollywood. I like the entertainment component of it. I like the fact that it still feels like it has a long way to go. It really did at that time, and it still does. And so I said, hey, how can I get involved in Hollywood? And so I went to, I said, okay, well, where would people that need real estate help, or where would people that know people that use real estate, have real estate, own it, control it, whatever it is, where would they congregate? How would they be involved in the community? And I said, of course, the Chamber of Commerce, duh. And so I went to a Chamber of Commerce mixer, kind of as just a trial. They didn't charge me. They said, hey, if you want to try this and see what it's about, come by. And so I went. It was at the Redberry Hotel on Vine in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
And I came. I got like a name tag. I just wrote real estate on the name tag. I didn't even put my name on it because what does it matter, right? It's just I want people to know I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
And so this is really put yourself. This is a year and a half of me having any involvement in the business.
Right.
Okay. And I'm walking around and meeting some people. I have a glass of wine, whatever. And then I'm about to leave because I'm there for an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I think this is cool, but there's nothing here. I don't think anybody else I can talk to at this point. And I knew I was going to get a parking ticket because I was parked outside. I was like, oh, this meter's going to run out.
Right.
Welcome to Hollywood. And so I'm about to leave. I'm departing, and a guy goes, hey, real estate. And I'm like,
hey, real
I'm
estate.
Like, yeah. He's like, you're just the guy I need to see. I need to talk with you. And I almost was like, hey man, I gotta go. I'm gonna get a ticket outside. But I was like, I didn't pay to go to this event. Like, what's this guy got to say? This is the most interesting thing that's happening here right now. Like, what's he got to say? And he introduced himself and said, hey, I run, the number one nightclub crawl business in the U.S. and we want to open a location in Hollywood. And, we really need help finding a location. We don't need to have actually a store. We just need to have some space on the boulevard. We want to be on the boulevard because we sell tickets and we only need a small space. He said, can you help me with that? I want to get as close to Hollywood and Highland, which is the main intersection of Hollywood, as possible. And I said, well, maybe I could help you with that. I could probably get in touch with the owners of those buildings. And he says, okay, well, let's catch up after that. And so, anyways, I got a parking ticket and I went back to work, and I actually started calling the owners of even though this opportunity was relatively small, I just wanted to explore it. Right?
Yeah. And
I started calling all the owners of Hollywood Boulevard that were close to that intersection of Highland. And, finally I got one on the phone and I gave him a pitch, like, hey, I have #1 nightclub crawl business. They just want a small space on the boulevard underneath your canopy, your awning. What can we do? And he goes, hey, come in. And so anyways, long story short, I end up signing a lease and representing that tenant, right? The guy that I met at the Chamber of Commerce, who was the nightclub crawl business. And, through the process of the lease transaction, it's really interesting. I actually got to know the landlord well. And I think
this Medley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mehdi. And he, I think he saw a young, hungry guy who was eager to learn. And he said, why don't you, Justin, come work for me? Why don't you come work with me? Why don't you can handle, the portfolio that I have, and I will guide you to use your energy to help me get what I want. And at the same time, you'll learn your business. And so anyways, that was the start of something really big.
I didn't do too well in school, and I didn't really have direction. But I knew, I've always liked to have fun. I mean, I think that's something good too, because you gotta know what you like, right? Even though you know that you love to have a good time, so you kind of, you work to have a good time, and then, it means something, because you're willing to work for what means well to you, right? So I think it's something. Just kind of focus on what you like. That's very important. No matter if it's,
I agree, 100%.
Just having fun, or being able to travel, just having some motivation like that. I think that would drive you to work and make money. That's what makes it for me.
Right, like I'm tired as hell, from working out. My body takes a beating sometimes. Yeah. So sometimes I need that little extra push, little reminder, motivation. Yeah. To keep pushing to get what I want. Yeah. Which is sometimes it'll be extra income, Sure. Or not even that, just satisfying my customer, making sure my haircut is on point. Yeah. Because there's points where I'm I'm really dead tired. I don't want to be here. But I'm here for a reason, because, a couple years back, this is what I was asking for. Yeah. And I'm doing it for that person. Yeah. It's myself. But back then I was, I would have killed to have this. Yeah. So now that I'm here, push through it, do what you were trying to kill yourself for before. Yeah.
An interview with him, and they asked him why he thinks Trump was elected, and he gave the responsibility. We don't want him as president, blah blah blah, but he wanted to give a lot of the responsibility on our shoulders, because he says, okay, if he's elected and Trump is president, whatever, what does that say about our country and the state that our country is in right now? Meaning that all this trap music and everything that just comes out that this generation now is consuming, it's a reflection of where we are as a culture right now. That we are, for the lack of a better word, when you just want to come home and just watch mindless TV, you don't want to think, you just want mindless shit. Yeah. That's basically what's going on right now. To me, is that everything right now is mindless. The trap music, there's nothing beneficial about it. I don't agree with the fact that Trump is president, blah, blah, blah. But for America right now, it's a reflection of where we are as a whole. And it's right now it's mindless. Yeah. It's mindless. We're not being mindful.
Gotcha.
Of anything right now.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Another piece that I live by, and I've lived by, since I was 13 in that space, and that's helped me pursue things like writing this book is never be afraid of the space between your dreams and reality, because if you can dream it you can make it so. So it's always that in-between space that no one really ever talks about it. And because we don't talk about it, we get afraid of it. And when you truly start to face, you know, what it looks like, the journey from your starting point to where you're looking to go, and as we talked about, you shift your perception of that and realize that if I don't enjoy the journey, I'm not going to enjoy when I get to the end, then there's no point of even starting. So it's realizing that we're all at different places in this journey, but change your perspective and your perception of your journey and realize that you have to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And that when you really start enjoying the journey, then those obstacles, the naysayers, the negativity, sometimes it's not going to affect you.
Right.
You know, it may sometimes, but
not as much.
Not as much. It's not going to affect you because you know that, you know what, it's just a part of the journey.
Yeah.
You know, and it's only making me stronger. It's only stretching me more so that when I get to where I want to go, I've already faced all of it. So nothing can touch me. You know, nothing is new. And so with that, you know, for anybody listening and for you and I, just know that, you know, always protect your dreams. And no matter what happens, no matter what comes along, only you know what's been put inside of your heart, what God has put in you. So protect that with everything that you have, cultivate that thing, and know that any obstacle that comes, you have the power. God is giving you that strength. God is putting something amazing inside of you to rise above all of that. He wouldn't have put it in you if he didn't know that you couldn't achieve it. And so knowing that and living by that whatever's been put inside of you, that it's already yours, you just have to go get it.
Well said.
I think as you get older, you realize certain things about your life, certain resources are just tools. Like your cell phone, I use it more as a tool nowadays. Like it's entertainment. Like there's a lot that you can use this phone with. Like you can go on YouTube, you can go on Apple Music, and it's all entertainment. But if you're too, like Instagram, etc., but sometimes it's just like you get stuck in that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's dangerous because then you start comparing yourself to like, damn, so how come I'm not there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you kind of stop living your life and start viewing others. And then you just kind of become like an observer, like we talked about. You know what I mean? And I think part of creating too is also about just living life. Like live your life a little. Like commit yourself to like having fun. Commit yourself to traveling. Doesn't have to be out of state. It can just be the next city over. Just commit to that and just have an experience. And then when you come back home and then you just kind of think about that journey, you know, that like that trip you took to like, I don't know, Joshua Tree. You're like, oh shit, like let me write about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Because I think we get stuck in this thing where like we have to create in order to get to that level. If we're basing it off of what we see on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And I think a lot of people want to live the life that other people are living.
Oh, I see.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's very dangerous.
Because 100%.
Because sometimes they may not even be having fun.
Like, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe they don't want to be at that pool party.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's very, very true. Or people that posting happy for a pic. Hey, this is my hubby. We're so in love.
Yeah.
Or this is my girl. We're so in love.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all for show. And that's a fucking weird thing these days. It's like the facade.
You know, to be consistent. What I've noticed is, cool, you want to make your first EP, your first album, your first podcast. That's cool. Do it for 5 years at that same level. That's difficult. And that's the game we're playing. Yeah. You think these people like Drake and DJ Khaled and Kanye, you know what I'm saying? Like those people, man,
right.
You think they got it? Like they got it, but man, they are fighting every single day. And I know this because I've been making music for a while and I'm realizing this throughout the years. They are fighting every day to stay relevant. Gotcha. It's one thing doing it and another thing doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
If they mattered, if they actually were loyal to you, even when you're at like your darkest days or days where you're like in moments of like controversy or times where you seriously messed up, then they're still with you. That's family. Because there's a difference. I mean, we got family and we got relatives. We have no choice who our blood relatives are, but ultimately, I mean, I don't know, I know you could relate, and we actually have family that's not even blood related, because you already know they got your back, front, side to side, you know what I mean? Like, they're just that types of people Like, they don't care if your reputation precedes you. They're like, nah, this is my homie, this is my homegirl, or this is my brother, this is my sister. And like, it's like, and I feel like that. I mean, I'm more closer to people who are not blood related to me and who are not even family, but they are family. And you have blood related family or relatives are just like, you don't know anything about them. They don't know anything about you.
You don't spend any time with them. They're maybe like your second cousin or your second cousin.
Even first cousins.
Your aunt. Even first cousin. Man, maybe even like brothers or sisters, mothers and fathers.
Yeah.
And for some situation. But you're right. It's about the people who hold you down. It's about the loyalty, the people that you can trust and be surrounded with.
Be a victim instead of learning to build upon that and create confidence and get better and become more mentally stable, more balanced. Because obviously people don't realize, like, depression is a part of life. You're supposed to keep a balance. You're supposed to maintain a balance. You're not going to always be happy. You just have to maintain a part of your life where you're in the moment. You're not stuck thinking in your head, or you're not dwelling on anything negative. You just got to be in the certain moment, and that's where you're living.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Life is not always, kumbaya, sing kumbaya. It's the majority of it is very tough. You have to work to make ends meet. You have to have good relationships with your family, which is not always the easiest thing to do.
Exactly. That's another thing too, is like sometimes we spend our energy on the wrong relationships. Like, say a lot of people want to have a bunch of friends, but it's like there's no point in that. You should just build upon the friends you already have and keep building that quality up with them. Start your best friends in your life, just keep learning more and more about them as time goes on. Like,
you won't do it. You have to be obsessed with what you're interested in. You really have to want to achieve, and you really have to ask yourself why you're doing this. What's your ultimate goal? And when I ask myself why I want to be successful, I want to be successful so that way my parents, the ones that really had a lot of sacrifices in their lives, that experienced the war in Vietnam, that had had to leave their family, their parents back home in Vietnam, to start their lives all over for us, knowing that when they come here to the US, there's nothing in their pockets and they're starting everything over. And a lot of times I know that my parents would be happy, and I'm very grateful for this too, because a lot of parents, especially Asian parents, or just parents in general, they want you to go to school, they want you to have a good job, but that's like the plan that they lay out for you. I'm very fortunate that I don't have parents that talk down on me because I didn't choose that route. They never really said, oh, I'm ashamed of you, or I'm disappointed in you that you didn't go to school. And I think I'm very fortunate to have parents that just supported me with whatever decision I decided to do. I wanted to work at a job, I wanted to buy a house, I wanted to start a business, I don't want to go to school, and they were okay with it.
Power of group. And in the world of psychology and recovery and so on, groups are really powerful. In fact, many people feel like they get more out of group therapy or group support group than they do out of the one-on-one.
Whoa, that is strange. And why do you think that is?
I think there's that sense of community, of support and empowerment. And of course, in group therapy, there's also the feeling of, oh, I'm not the only one that has this problem or this issue. And, so Joe, you did that and that helped. Well, maybe I should try that and that'll help me.
Yeah.
So there is that sense of support and community and empowerment.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it's to get started, it's a little bit more of a grind because you have to learn the software. So I started with Ableton, and Ableton's not super expensive. You can get like the intro Ableton and kind of just hop on one leg. But if you're serious, you'll invest into your craft. So I bought Ableton, and I looked at it and I was like, this is crazy. This is so hard. I didn't know anything at all, and I literally felt like a caveman, just like with a rock on the computer. Like, how does this work? It was so hard. So I just kept YouTubing it. And I honestly felt when I first started, I was like, I'm never going to learn Ableton. Like, this is so hard. And then I was like, shut up, just sit down and get it done. So I just sat there for hours, and I was like, oh, this is getting easier and easier and easier. And then repetition, I was like, this is cake. But then it gets into the next level. Okay, I know how to use Ableton now.
Yeah.
But my music still sounds like shit.
Yeah.
So now I got to start working on how to frequencies and what to cut and stuff like that, all the internal workings of how you make music. And then that process, continues to grow and get harder, and things change, and people do things different ways, and what you might sound good, other hundreds of other people might think it sounds like crap, but the other hundreds might love it. So it's just, that's when the whole creative process comes in.
Yeah. The majority of my life, I was really, really overweight. Middle school, all throughout most of high school. And I always got bullied and teased a lot because of it. And so one day I saw this video of this French beatboxer who was auditioning for a talent show. And he was huge, morbidly, he's huge. And they were kind of it seemed like the judges were kind of giving him looks before he even did anything.
Sure.
And so he started beatboxing, and then just kind of blew everybody's minds. Mm-hmm. And then they all just fell in love with him, and I kind of realized they don't care what he looks like, they just really like what he does or appreciates what he offers. So I kind of adopted that concept because I was in the same situation. I was always being judged, and I was really heavy. Sure. And so I kind of started to learn how to beatbox little by little. So a lot of videos online, a lot of practicing in the shower every single night. And I just eventually got to a decent place with it. And I beatboxed at one of my school rallies one time. And
in high school?
Yeah, in high school. Mm-hmm. And everybody lost their shit.
Nice.
And so that and then I started getting friends, and then started going to parties, and started being, accepted amongst my peers. And it kind of felt like I was building some sort of an identity that I was trying to build,
Sure.
for a while. And then graduated high school, and once I realized college wasn't my thing and people wanted to offer me money to do what I do, I was like, it could be a business.
Yeah.
So
cool. So that's kind of what got you started.